are in Runda, they are not even peaceful. Okay? They are there and they are not even peaceful. So today, as we are talking about this topic of process, I want somebody to get the revelation that process is necessary. If you run away from process, I want to assure you, by the time you get ahead in life, by the time you get to your table, you might be embarrassed. And yet the Bible says, He prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Do not allow your skipping of the process embarrass you in front of your enemies. Go through process. Learn through process right now. There's a family I know. They were living in Lavington. Okay? Those who are watching probably not from Kenya wondering where Lavington is. Lavington it's a cool neighborhood. It's a nice, decent, a very nice neighborhood. And these people, it was the dad who was working. The mom was a stay-at-home mom. So one day the unfortunate happened. The dad lost his job. Then eventually the dad passed on, and the family could not handle that certain shock. You know, it was sudden, and it was one thing after the other. The job is lost, now the dad is gone. And so this family, it is the mother who was sharing the story. She was saying by the time they were almost being auctioned, being told to get out of Lavington, she had to come look for a house in Eastlands, okay? And so the children have never lived anywhere. They have never lived anywhere outside Lavington. And so this woman was saying that by the time they were coming to Eastlands, those who know Eastlands or are familiar with Eastlands, she was saying that by the time they passed City Stadium, when they were going towards Jogoo Road, headed towards Eastlands, and you know, they are seeing people run, they are seeing people with mkokoteni. It's a different life. She was saying that her children began to cry. They didn't understand why people are running helter-skelter. You know, they're not used to that life. They're not used to a life whereby you share a washroom, you share the bathroom. That is something that was unheard of to them. And so the children were crying, and they were holding their mom, asking their mom, why are people running? What is happening? Is there a riot? Because they are moving from a higher life to a lower life. That is the problem when you don't go through process sometimes. It can shock you one day when disaster strikes, because you didn't have the shock absorbers. You don't know how to handle life. Everything that is thrown at you, you start to cry. But look at people who've been raised up in the tough places. I'm telling you, they almost smile. They smile through problems. I'm not encouraging us to love problems, but I'm saying sometimes we need to trust the process of God. The process of God, He knows why we need that process to strengthen our muscles. So if you're somebody who likes to run away from process, remember that story of that family that I've told you. They reached a place, they were so high in life, by the time they were coming down, it almost broke them. Even in normal circumstances, for those who like to cook ugali, do you know the reason the sufuria cracks most of the time? Is because many people, after cooking with the hot pot, right, with the sufuria, they put it immediately into cold water. And that sudden shock of coming from hot, then immediately to cold, it is what causes the sufuria to break, because it is a sudden shock. You have shocked it. So somebody who is a chef has picked something today. When you're cooking, don't put cold water in your cooking pots immediately after you remove them from fire. You are shocking them. And most people even get a heart attack because it is a sudden shock of the body. You cannot just shock the body like that. It gives it a heart attack. You cannot just come from a very hot environment and enter a cold shower immediately. You can get a heart attack then in the shower and die. It's very dangerous. There was a time I used to run a lot in the morning. I used to jog and I used to sweat. And then immediately I could come and take a very cold shower. And one day I became very sick. And I wondered what was the issue. Until somebody told me, don't do that. Allow your body to cool down fast. You are just from running, you are sweating, your body is hot, and then you shock it with cold water. It is not advisable. So same way with spiritual matters. There are people who are shocked when these things change. When these things are changed in their lives, it shocks them. And that shock can kill you. So that's why in this new week, I want us to focus on this topic today, that as we are beginning, may we learn that sometimes God is not against us. God is taking us through process because it is necessary. Process will help you. Process will keep you grounded. I want us to look at another character called Joseph. Joseph got a dream. And because Joseph was loved, okay, Joseph was born in the latter years of Jacob. That's why Joseph was one of the favorite sons, because he was born when Jacob was in the twilight of his years. So he really loved Joseph. And so he even made a coat of many colors. And that caused the other brothers to feel very bad. They were like, oh, so in this house it is only Joseph who's being loved. Okay? That's a topic for another day. We need to address that parents, I know we all like to say, we love people equally, but that's a lie. Most kids know that you don't love them equally. In every family, there's always that favorite son. There's always that favorite daughter. And most of the time, even the other siblings can pick it. They always know. They know who's the scapegoat of the family. They know who's the black sheep. They know who's the favorite. In every family, there's always that child. Even when the rest want something, they send that specific child, go and tell dad you want this, go and tell mom, because they know that dad and mom cannot refuse that certain child. So understand that there are people who are the black sheep of the family. There are people who are the favorite of the family. And so Joseph was such. And because he had not gone through process, because he had not been crushed, Joseph, immediately he saw the dream. He came and announced, hey, he called a family meeting. I saw in my dream, we were all out with our sheaves, and then my sheaf arose, and it was the tallest. That was the first dream. So the brothers became very angry, and they developed an attitude towards Joseph. They wondered, who does he think he is? He's the youngest, and he's trying to say that his sheaf was the tallest. Joseph got a second dream. And this time, he saw the sun, the moon, and the stars bow to him. And Joseph did not learn from the first dream. Can you imagine? He did not read the body language that people were angry at him. People were not happy that he's doing well. He kept on talking. And he said the second dream. And this time the parents were offended because the dad rebuked him. And the dad asked him, do you want to say that even your mother and I will bow to you? Are you trying to say you are greater than us, your parents? Joseph would have learned from the first dream that when I shared, these people were not happy. These people did not receive it with joy. But because Joseph had not gone through process, because he did not understand the pain of prayer, the pain of waiting, the pain of all these things, he didn't know how to handle blessing. He didn't even know how to talk to people. I want to say this. I know we don't choose where to be born. We don't choose how things play out for us. But most of the time, you find that if the parents have paid a high price, if the parents have gone through process, most of the time, the children come out not knowing anything about the price that was paid. They don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to talk to workers. They don't know how to address people out there. They talk like Joseph. Hey, you, come here. Bring for me water. Do you know you will bow to me? And they are giving orders. And you feel like slapping that child and wondering, look at this spoiled little brat. You know why? It is because their parents have paid a price. So the child has no idea what it is like. The child does not know what it is like to toil, to get these things. And so that was Joseph. He was a spoiled brat. And because God wanted to use Joseph, the only way he could use a spoiled brat was to humble him. 12 years in prison. So you choose today. If you want God to humble you so that he can use you, it's up to you. But if you want to humble yourself, do it. The earlier, the better. But if you're somebody who has not gone through process, let me tell you, you will despise watchmen. You'll be walking in, you don't even say hi to them. When they try to talk to you, you have already removed your phone. You are trying to show them how superior you are, how connected you are, how you want to call people. And probably the watchman was just telling you to move. When you're content, when you know who you are in Christ, very little things move you. A lot of stuff, you just let them go. You'll find that very few things can manage to move you, because most of the things, most times we are trying to prove a point. But once you know who you are, then a lot of things can't move you. There was a time I think I was in a bank, and then I was with a friend, and we were standing somewhere, and so the security personnel came and started telling us to move, and my friend was already angry. He wanted to show how he's connected, how he wants to call them, and I was telling him, let's just move. We're just going to be here 5 minutes and we're out. I mean, why start up a drama? And we know who we are, you know. You know, some people have inferiority complex, so they try to show their superiority on you. There are people who hate themselves. They try to show how big they are through you. But if you know who you are, if you're like Jesus, you have no point to prove. Because when Jesus was brought before the high priest, you know, Jesus did not have any point to prove. That's why he didn't answer them. He was asking him, are you the king of the Jews? And Jesus just looked at him. He's wondering, why do I need to answer you? I know I am the Son of God. What point do I have to prove? Jesus did not go around with a banner written, Jesus Most High, the Son of the living God. He did not even announce himself most times. He used to sit down with commoners, with the tax collectors, with the people who were considered the less privileged in the society. People that you didn't want to sit down with. But Jesus understood, I know who I am. I've gone through process. This is where life is. So that's why I'm saying, may we pray for our children. Like for me, I know. I'm not saying they won't have any battles, but I know most of the battles I've fought in the spiritual. It can be very tempting for my children to come and spoil all that, because they will find a lot of bush cleared for them. There are people who marry into a family that people have already done a lot of battle. So by the time you enter, you find very minimal resistance. But there are others who go through a family that has not gone through any process. So when you enter, it is problem from day one. So today as I'm talking to us, I'm talking to the nations of the world, I'm talking to Kenyans who are listening. Stop complaining while you're in the process. The process is there to develop you. It is there to strengthen your muscles. You can always tell somebody who has gone through process by the way they talk, their level of respect. You will see it in how they address people. You will tell it in their face, in their demeanor. Somebody who has gone through process, let me tell you, you can never fake it. You automatically tell when they even enter a room, when they talk. You can never bribe process. And I know we're in a country where corruption is rampant, and so we imagine we can do the same with God. With God, process can never be bribed. That's why I've told you, even Job, the richest man in the East in that time, had not gone through process. He got everything easy. Imagine he had to start. He had to start all over again. Everything lost. Fire comes and takes away the property. Children die, accident after accident. If you don't want to reach the peak of your life, if you don't want to reach Runda or Karen or wherever, if you don't want to go to Beverly, and then while you are there, you start to go down, a down spiral, allow yourself to go through the process. If you do not want to be embarrassed at the peak of your success, allow yourself to go through process. Process will help you. It will help you, it will preserve you in the days of darkness. Because people who have gone through process, let me tell you something else. They always know the alternatives in life. They don't have limited options. They always know. Somebody who has gone through process, hata ukimnyima pesa, they know how to go and shop in Gikomba. They know how to substitute milk. They'll make black tea. Somebody who has not gone through process, they cry. They cry when things get tough because they don't know what else. You know, they are used to one method of life. They don't know anything else. They don't know that there are people who don't have rent, and so they go and they cost share. Somebody who has never been through a process cannot even understand something like that. They don't know that these things happen. They wonder how, where. There's a friend one day we were working with, and he's from a really wealthy family. And so one day we were doing charity work. We were going to a certain children's home. And then can you imagine we passed by a certain slum? And this boy was shocked. You know, he's not even from Kenya. He's from another country. And while we were passing the slum, this boy was shocked and he was talking loudly. So we were trying to tell him to tone it down because the things he was saying, For him, he was innocent. He was saying them out of a genuine concern and out of a genuine heart. He didn't understand how can people live in such a place. And so he was asking us loudly, oh my God, what are those? And you were trying to tell him, whatever you're calling those, that is someone's house. You know, he had never seen such mud thatched houses. Some were made of carton, some were made of mabati. He was so shocked. And then, you know, to make it worse, he's a black person just like us, but he's not Kenyan. He's not raised in Kenya. So when we are with him, someone can't know that he's from a different country because he was just talking like us. You could feel a different accent from afar, but he was mostly just speaking like us. So somebody could think that this person was showing off, that he's trying to say he has never seen a slum. He was trying to say he has never seen such a dirty place. Because even by the time we arrived in this children's home that we were going, we had to cross over sewage, we had to cross over dirty places, and this boy was stuck in the car. He couldn't imagine that we are supposed to walk on such a dirty place. You see, it's not that he had attitude. He has never seen that. He has never been through process. He doesn't understand. So someone else might think that this guy, sasa anaringa, huyu mtu ako na maringo. That is the problem. When you guard your children so much, when you guard your family members so much that you don't allow them to go through process, you are actually killing them slowly. Because on the day of battle, they will not even know how to carry a sword. They were used to their dad fighting for them. I tell people, no matter how God blesses me, I would want, when I have kids, I let them go and get a little beating about life out there. Sometimes tell them no. It's not every time you tell your children, yes, yes. Mom, Dad, I want pizza, okay. I want no, there are times you tell them no. No. Today we are eating this. Today we are going here. There's somebody who said that the problem with our parents are going through a lot of difficulty while growing up. Okay, and I'm about to say a quote that it really ministered to me. And this was almost like, 15 years ago, and I've never forgotten it. That someone said that the challenge is our parents went through a lot of struggle. They went through a lot of pain. To an extent, they vowed that they would give us the life they never had. And so you find our parents tell us things like, we went to school barefoot. We went to school with clothes which were torn. And so our parents strive so hard to give us the life that they never had. To an extent, they forget to give us the life that they had. Don't forget to give your child the life that you had. Don't just purpose to give your children the life that you never had. It is okay. Give them cars because you never had a car. It's okay, give them shoes because you never had a shoe. But also don't forget to give them your God because you had your God. Don't forget to give them your attitude of perseverance. We are so busy giving them all the nice things. We forget to give them the things that made us who we are. I wouldn't want to just give my child a good life, money and all that thing, and telling him, by your age I was still struggling. No. I will also want him to have a bit of what I went through. Because that is how greatness is transferred. There's a woman in the Bible who wanted her two sons to be like Jesus. Until she came to Jesus and she told Jesus, Master, I want my sons to sit where you sit. You know what Jesus told her? Jesus actually laughed. Jesus laughed. It's like Jesus was wondering, does this woman know what she's asking? And this is the answer Jesus gave this woman. Jesus told her, it is not up to me to decide that. And Jesus asked this woman one question. Can they drink of the cup that I drink? You all know the cup that Jesus drank from. The cup of suffering. The cup of pain. Jesus went through intense pain. To an extent, he prayed and told God, if there's another way, please. If there's another way, God, please don't let me die. If there's another way, can you imagine this is Jesus, the Son of God? He went through intense pain. To an extent, anasema, I think I'm not ready. This is too much. The man prayed until his sweat came out like droplets of blood. And then there is a woman who's coming. Hey, I want my sons to be like Jesus. Jesus was laughing. Like, do you know the process? I see many people wanting to pray for others so that they fall down. And I ask people, do you know the process? Do you know the process of praying for people? And I'll come and share some other things later after we come from the break. But I want to say something before we go on a break. The problem with having a good mentor or somebody who's gone ahead of you, the problem with having people who make things look so easy for us is that we are tempted to try whatever they are trying. I was telling some people that if you watch the big supermarkets that we have, okay, if you watch any big supermarket, if you go to a mall and watch how many customers are coming in and watch the queues at the cashiers, the many people who are queuing up to the cashiers, I'm telling you, you'll be tempted to go and start a supermarket. If you look at how much money people are making in a hotel, a nice hotel that is packed, you will say, I think I want to own a restaurant. You know, that is the challenge of people who have gone through process. They make it seem so easy for the rest who have not gone through process. If you watch this TV station, probably you've seen, oh, these people have done it, JTV have done it, I also want to do it like Apostle Pamela, and you go and try it. That is the challenge. They make it look so easy for you because you don't know what goes on behind the screens. You don't know the sacrifice. You don't know. The problem with seeing men of God, with the church having 5,000 members, and you also tempted and you go and start your fellowship of 5 people. You also tell people now to follow you online. You tell people, I want you to come, I'll be preaching to you. It's because somebody else has made it look so easy for you. Just wait until people start gossiping you. Until people start saying, that man, his words don't touch me. Her words don't inspire me. Then you start crying, oh God, why does everyone hate me? You thought it was easy. Many people think pastoral work is easy. It's just talking to people. It's just telling people what to do. You know, there's a research that confirmed, okay, that the brain, imagine this is a scientific research, let alone spiritual matters. The brain registers emotional pain, same as physical pain. That's why when you go through a very bad heartache, a very bad heartbreak, somebody leaves you, there are times you even get panic attacks at night when you're sleeping. You wake up panicking because your body registers that emotional pain like physical pain. It is as though somebody came and actually beat you. And that's why there are people who've gotten depressed after a heartbreak, and others even died out of heart failure. Something ruptured their heart because we couldn't understand. We only think that pain is something we have to see. Somebody pinching us, somebody beating us. You can get an emotional pain that will equate to physical pain. These are the pain men of God go through, women of God go through, emotional pains of betrayal. And then you now think it is easy. You go and start your fellowship, 5 people in your house. I'm telling you, they betray you, you end up getting ulcers, you get high blood pressure. Because the problem of having people who have gone through process, they make it look so easy. When I'm talking to you right now on the cameras, there's somebody who's sitting at home thinking, wow, I think I can also talk like Kevin. You try. Come and sit here. You start to babble words. You wonder, you can even hear yourself disagreeing with yourself as you talk. And you're even telling your inner self, what am I saying? What am I really saying? Because it is not easy. There's a price you pay to command the spiritual such that when you talk, people listen. It is not easy. So I want us to go on a short break. But when we come back, we are going to continue talking process. Stop running away from process. Keep it JTV, your number one Christian channel. We'll be right back after this short break.